Greetings of peace and prosperity. Hello, I am ANGNIE and this is my journal entry in the month of March. The two lessons that I have want to discuss and that impacted me is the lesson under peace and concept in Islam, other faiths and spiritual traditions, which is lesson 7, concept of peace and other peace-related concept in other major religions of the world, and also the lesson under understanding conflict and violence, which is lesson 2, conflict versus violence. Everyone wants to achieve peace, may it be within themselves, within the people around them, and even the environment. As for me, I define peace as something that is hard to achieve, but with peace, everything is possible. In this lesson, we have discussed about the concept of peace, not just in Islam, but also in other religion. In these faiths, we have Taoism, Confucianism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism, which they have different kind of meaning and ways of achieving peace. This lesson impacted me because of how it is similar with other faiths, that they are both promoting peace and still this can't be achieved. But this thought is also answered through me because even though the faith you are in promotes peace all the way, but still it depends on you if you want to pursue it and really grow through the process. The process that the peace they are talking about, it depends on the person if they want to embody peace and advocate for it. Maybe that is also the reason why some of us can't achieve their peace, because they themselves don't even want it, even if the process is there and the thought is being taught. In this lesson, one thing also that caught my attention is the concept of Jainism, wherein they don't even hurt a single or an insect, for example, because they believe they may add to the suffering of that certain living thing. It shows how much they value peace and promote harmony with others, and also even the tiniest living organisms in their faith. Also, they don't want to fully cut the root of a plant just because they don't want to let it die. My thoughts on this says that indeed peace is what they want, or peace is what they want to achieve, not just in the people of their faith but also to their environment, especially environment, because it was being mentioned that they don't really cut the root of a plant, or they don't let it additionally. The concept of Buddhism is where I have realized and agreed in some of its concepts that nothing is permanent. A person cannot be satisfied, and that should every person will think. As for me, the suffering cannot end because there will always be changes in life, may it be good or bad, because that is part of our life, and that is every person will go through it one way or another. Through these realizations, I can apply it on real life by also learning how to be contented, and also peace cannot be achieved if you don't work through it. Peace has different kinds of definition, but either way, it is still peace that every faith is promoting. Applying these concepts of every faith or the process of every faith in achieving peace still results to peace itself. Even though they have different kinds of meanings and definitions of what is peace and how can we achieve peace, it is still the same that they are all promoting and representing to achieve peace with one another, within oneself or within ourselves, and also in the environment. The next lesson that have an impact on me is the lesson under understanding conflict and violence, which is lesson 2, conflict versus violence. From my personal understanding, before this lesson, when I hear the word conflict, the first thing that I can think of is that it is negative. The word conflict and the idea of it, as for those who don't know the concept and full definition of it, just like me, may think it does really have a negative connotation. But knowing its actual meaning and concept and the difference of it with violence made me enlightened. Conflict may be good or bad, depends on how you handle it, and violence is a manifestation of conflict. That's what I understand. Conflict, if not handled carefully, may lead to violence, and violence can harm someone, and it is really negative. This learning made me understand of how conflict should be addressed and handled, because it may lead to harm and may also benefit to someone if handled critically. I can apply this in real life through analyzing first the conflict before making a decision. Just like what the manual is trying to convey, in everyday life, we experience conflict, especially within the self, because even picking out what to eat is a conflict, and it is based also on my experience. But from also my experience as someone who grow up in a family that is not expressive, I always have this conflict of opening up to them and fear of being criticized. And that is how I can apply it, that conflict can be addressed through communication, and also in this kind of situations. The activity that left a big impact on me during the previous lessons is the one that is called the last trip. As a person who have a far away homeland, I really did take that activity seriously, as if I am at the actual scene. I have fight for my seat in the bus, and that is also what I want to do in real life. If there is really an emergency in the house or in my homeland, I value my family, and if it is about them, I would really do everything as long as I can. I also have experienced that scenario every time we go to our homeland or every time we go home. Everyone is rushing to go home, and if you want to go home early, you should be active to save a seat in a bus. It really impacted me because I have witnessed and experienced it myself. Sometimes in our life, we don't have a choice but to compete with others, because not anytime we should adjust, or we should adjust as long as we should adjust to others, as long as you didn't have to hurt someone. And also, I have learned in these kind of situations that communication can be a key to solving this kind of conflicts, because making other person understand your situation sometimes works on them, especially on emergency matters. That is also how I can apply this lesson in real life. The update on my 30 days concrete plan is that it ended on March 28th last month. And for me, it's very fulfilling to finish the 30 days plan. It's an achievement because it's a way, or it was a challenge to me to do all of it, because based on what is the instruction, it is all a task that you don't usually do to someone or to even yourself. I have learned a lot of lessons and reflect on things, especially on the part that I have a misunderstanding with. Lowering your pride is not really hard, and also apologizing is refreshing, and it feels freeing, something you are holding within yourself a long time ago. It's a breath of fresh air and a new start. Also, the day that I have the task where I have to read the Holy Quran, or our holy book, which is the Quran, is a very meaningful to me. It feels that reading that book, or that holy book, I felt whole and repent all the things that I have violated in my faith. After reading a surah, I feel really light, and especially also it is special because it was in the day of Ramadan. All of these tasks made me realize that it was all worth it. It's like getting out of your comfort zone and trying new things. I have learned that sometimes change is not scary. Sometimes it gives us benefits in some ways that usually we fear not to do.